What's up, guys? Today we're going to be changing the alternator on my 2005 Honda Element. It recently went bad. It's been bad for like a week and I haven't had time to change it. I'm currently doing a roll cage in a customer's car and went drifting last night and all kinds of stuff, but I have a little bit of time this morning and I've seen that there's a few videos on how to do this that make it seem way more complicated than what it is. So let's dive into it. All right, the first thing I'm going to start off by doing is taking this panel off. It doesn't actually need to come all the way off, but I just think it'll be easier and it's only a little bit more work. So we're going to go ahead and pop all these tabs out, and then I'm going to loosen this bar here, which is 210s here and 210s here, and that'll give us a little bit of room because we're going to have to take the fan out, the overflow out. I'm going to take this and move it off to the side and all kinds of stuff like that. So let's go ahead and pop this off. And if you've never done these before, you just go in here and these will pop up like that, and then you can just pop them out like that. Okay, now that I have this panel out, I took my 4 10s out. I'm going to go ahead and remove the overflow bottle. So there's a 10 right here. You take the cap out. Some of those hoses might be brittle. So we can just unscrew the cap like this. And then just pull it out of here. And just slide it out of the way. There we go. Just like that. Just let it hang there. And then we'll undo that 10. And we should be able to pull it out because I think it's only just that 110. All right, we're getting a little bit closer. Our alternator is that thing right there with the green plug. So that's what we're trying to get out. So we need a little bit more room still. So we're gonna go ahead and pull this fan out. This one stays in, this one comes out. This is the fan for the AC. So it's just a 10 up here and a 10 right here. Sorry, there's not a lot of light, but we just pull those two out and then unplug it and it'll just pull straight up and out. All right, what I just had to do is I had to pull this radiator stay out. It's just 2 10 mils that are right here. And then you can lift this up and over like that. I don't think I'll have to do it on this side, but the fan should just slide out now. I'm gonna have to use 2 hands. Okay, we have the fan out. And an issue that I had was this clip right here. You can see it's got the 2 prongs on it. It was facing this way and wouldn't let the fan come out, so I just had to rotate it like that. Now we're going to go ahead and move this power steering assembly out of the way. We're not going to unhook any of the lines. We don't want to do that. We don't want to make a mess. We're just going to take the tension out of the belt and then pull this out of the way and just like let it hang over there. So if you've never done this before, what you want to do is you want to take it's a 14mm wrench, and you want to make sure that it's not a ratcheting one. A lot of times the ratcheting ones are straight. The standard wrenches are angled. And you want to put that on there. Your tensioner is that pulley that's down there, not this one. It's the one down there. And what you're going to do is you're going to put that on there like this, and then you're going to put another wrench on it to use it as leverage, and you're going to pull it towards you, and that'll loosen the belt. So basically what that looks like is this wrench is going to go in here like this, and then you take the open end side of another wrench and slip it over and use it like this for leverage, and then pull it towards you. And that loosens everything up, and then we can pop the belt off, untension it. That easy. All right, so now that we have that out, there's a 12 mil right here, and then there's one under. You're gonna have to feel for it. It's back here, so it's like where my middle finger is right there, is directly right there under the pulley. You don't have to take the pulley off to get it. You can still fit a socket down in there, I'm pretty sure. So let's do that now. All right, now you can see we got the power steering pump moved out the way. So now we got to get to the alternator. So what we need to do is there's 1 bolt here and there's 2 on the bottom. So if you look at your new alternator, you can see the bolt pattern. So this is the one that you can see at the top, and then there's these 2 on the bottom. And then what I'm gonna do is loosen it first. There's a plug on it, the green plug that you see right here. I'm gonna unplug that first, and then I'll take this bolt out, this bolt out, this bolt out, and then there's a power on the side. Now, you can undo your battery to do that. I'm not going to. I'm pretty experienced with this. But it will arc and all kinds of stuff like that, and you can blow fuses if that hits anything because it is a power wire. So, recommended to take the battery or undo the battery. All right, and there we have it. The alternator is out. My 200,000 mile alternator. It's probably been due for replacement for a while. Definitely there's some sort of power steering leak happening. That's probably not helping the longevity of it. But now we get to do all this stuff in reverse. So we can go ahead and throw everything back in. And the trick to this is this guy they take like no pressure. There's an actual torque spec if you want to do it, but these don't get very tight. They will snap if you tighten them too much. So keep that in mind. When you're putting all this back together, try to remember that the lower 2 bolts are shorter than the top one. So I'm going to go ahead and put the top one in first. That way it holds everything in place, and it'll be easier to line the bottom ones up since you can't see them. Okay, our alternator's back in, and we made sure that we plugged it in because it would be terrible to do all this and then have to take it all apart to be able to plug it in. So it's plugged in. Now we're going to go ahead and put our power steering pump back. Okay, we have our power steering pump back in. Now we have to do the tensioner thing again. So we got to pull it towards us with the 14 with the other wrench. We're going to pull it towards us and slip our belt on. It's very important to make sure that the belt is lined up with everything that it needs to go around. There's the crank pulleys down there. You have your AC stuff down here. You have your alternator, the power steering, and the tensioner. And if any of that comes off, it's not impossible to put back on from up here, but it is easier to go through the wheel well. So if it comes off, just Google K24 timing belt or serpentine belt diagram, and it'll show you how to route everything. All my stuff stayed on, so I'm good to go there. So I'm just going to go ahead and tension it, pop the belt back on. Okay, after you have your belt back on, just triple check to make sure it's not overhanging any of the edges or anything like that. Mine looks very good, so I'm good to go. Now I'm going to go ahead and throw the fan back in. Alright, we have our fan back in place. I'm going to go ahead and throw the coolant reservoir back in place while I have all this open room. Slide that back in. I'm going to go ahead and throw this coolant reservoir back in place. And if you can see at the ends of these things, so the ends of the fan and the end of this have these little tabs, and they slide into little holes down there. So I don't think I'll be able to get it on camera, but it's like straight down there. Yeah, you can't see it on camera. But this little tab will slide into its home. You'll see what I'm talking about. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and put my radiator stay back in place. So there's 2 10 mils, and then put my 4 to hold this crossbar in place, and then put the cover on, and we should be finished up. Alright, now we see if my battery light is off. I'll let the fuel pump prime. Perfect. Love to see it. That one's just made break. We're good to go. Back in business. So this is the only tools you're going to need for this job. A pair of pliers. This was because that clamp that I had to move, you might not even need pliers. It was just to move some of those clamps out of the way to get the fan out. 3/8 ratchet, a 12mm socket, a short 10mm socket, a long 10mm socket. Long is just my preference. A 17 wrench. This was just to do the leverage for the 14, and that's it. So it's not terrible to do by yourself. If you have a little bit of car knowledge and you've worked on stuff before, it's really not the worst to do. It looks a lot harder than it actually is. So we're good to go now. Alright, so now we're all done. I can go back to driving this thing again. If you guys enjoyed videos like this, please let me know in the comments. I'm still trying to figure out what kind of videos I want to do and stuff like that. I've just been doing a little bit of everything. If you guys want to see more element content, please let me know. I have a ton of stuff that I can make content on this with. I'm about to go on a long trip here in a couple months. So yeah, let me know. I appreciate y'all for watching. Thanks. I'll see y'all.